Hi there, everybody. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
And Jolé Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet. And we'd like to welcome you to today's show. Exciting. And as we're so multifaceted. You see us work with angels, interstellar beings, quantum physics, all kinds of things. And so John is here to give us more about today's show.
Thank you, Jolé. Yeah, absolutely. And today, not only do we have the Galactics back with us again, but of course, we have a very different kind of consciousness who's been around for many tens of thousands of years, which is, of course, Thoth. Thoth the Atlantean, as he's known certainly within the Sarah Breskman Cosme book, but also he was obviously very well known around the ancient Egypt time. So today I have my Ankh, which symbolizes aspects of life, physical life, eternal life, immortality, death, and reincarnation, all here within the hieroglyphs. So, anyway, I've been getting a few of these things recently because I've got my dragon for my dragon energy side of things, and I've got a cross for the Templar Knights. Whatever. I've got my little paraphernalia, but today we're focusing very much on the Ankh side of things because we're starting with Thoth. And the most interesting thing about Thoth, of course, is that he was the architect of the Earth Ascension plan. A big part of his role, apparently, is that he helps people with ascension back to source, if you like. So, I've heard a lot about him over the last year or so, certainly because the work of Drunvalo Melchizedek, a lot of his training was with Thoth, who would come through on a regular basis over a number of years and would always help him. Anyway, he's out there for us now as well. The other thing to mention is we have the WhatsApp group now finally up and running. So it's still in its infancy, still got to be sort of polished up a bit, and we're going to have to do some additional subdivision of groups. But this is going to be exciting because we've got a few things. I've got a few things written down here. It's basically, it's for a gathering of tribes. So what we're trying to do is overcome the fragmentation that everybody has as individuated pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. We come together because we know how powerful collective consciousness is. So the more people get together on the WhatsApp group, the more we can share information. There's going to be a section where obviously we can do the releases for like videos. And we're also collaborating with Stephen of Twisted Reality as well. So his tribe will be coming along to this one as well. And that's what it's all about. It's about pulling everybody together. And we're going to have things like a daily dose where Jolé will post affirmations, daily affirmations and things like that, whatever the inspiration of the day is. And it's a forum where people can post things that they come across that they really like and believe that others in this community would enjoy as well. So I'm excited that we've got that up and running as well. Really, I suppose at this point, Jolé, what would you care to add before we leap in?
I'm very excited to look into the research, dig deeper into Thoth, and what that is, because as we spoke about, or in this show, we're about to talk about the composite energy of the archangels and how part of that is the remembering. And don't think that you're restricted from accessing this energy in a way that accesses light, right? We're all so scared of like these energies because of what's been taught, but what it has, that's the veil.
Hmm.
So it's like, let's really open up and look at, what this energy has to offer and allow it in.
Yes, absolutely. And this is the first of several sections I think we will do on Thoth over subsequent weeks as well, because there's a lot of information to share. And the fact that he is the architect of this entire thing kind of tells you this is a really great place to be getting the word from. And just before we sort of hit the button as well, just to explain that this again is part of Sarah Breskman Cosme's book. And this is where we see our world of unspeakable beauty. So I'm excited about that. But just also to explain, this goes through this quantum healing hypnosis technique that was Dolores Cannon who created that in the first instance. And Sarah was the one who has picked up on that. And obviously, Dolores is now on the other side of the veil, making sure she gets the right clients at the right time with the right messages. So it's amazing how these books, actually, as Sarah herself would tell you, write themselves.
Mm.
She's just writing down verbatim what comes through. One of her clients is a lady by the name of Yana, who is the one through whom Thoth actually appears. So just to mention that, because that will be part of where this begins, well, that'll kind of make more sense as this comes through. So what do you reckon, Jolé? Should we hit the
Yes,
button? Right.
absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Bear with me.
Tell me what you see. Thoth is here. The being known as Thoth, or Three, has come through multiple sessions, as documented in my other books. What does he want to say? I want your readers to know that I am here for anyone who calls upon me. My purpose is to bring enlightenment to the earth. My role is to help humans ascend, and I do everything within my power to facilitate that expansion. I hold a deep love for humanity. This is part of a much grander design. Earth is one of the planets under my jurisdiction. All planets and beings must, at some stage, undergo this process of awakening. Earth is a place specifically designed to support this ascension program, a passageway through which souls evolve. I have helped create an environment where human beings can remember their divine connection. Everyone who interacts with Earth, especially those who choose to incarnate, is involved in the ascension process in some capacity. Whether they are here for their own ascension, assisting others, holding the negativity as a necessary counterbalance, or simply learning about the mechanics of ascension to later serve as guides, every soul plays a role. Why Earth in particular? Earth is a very protected and heavily guarded planet, providing the perfect conditions for this ascension game. It is also a planet of free will, which allows the program to unfold in the way it needs to. Is this ascension program just a game, or does it serve a greater purpose? It is for those souls who seek to merge back with God, to return to unity. This is a journey for souls at that phase of their evolution. What happens when you merge back with God? When a soul merges back with God, its consciousness as an individual ceases to exist. All that the soul has experienced is integrated back into the all-encompassing source. Every soul has its timeline, a birth, a life, and a return to source, just as every physical human does. Have you, Thoth, completed the ascension process? I have not fully ascended. I have chosen to remain until the end of this experiment. As the creator of the ascension program, I feel a responsibility to guide others. If I were to merge with the all, I would lose the will to assist in the ascension of others. I draw my strength from source, and in turn from those souls who are nearing their own merging. I am an aspect, a program of consciousness, designed to specifically facilitate the merging of the individual with the One. Did you build the Great Pyramid? In a sense, yes. I envisioned what was needed for Earth and sent out a call to the necessary beings. Many contributed to the construction, but I set the plan in motion. Who did you work with? I worked with higher dimensional beings, primarily archangels. They come from every corner of the universe to assist with this ascension. So, beings from higher dimensions help humans in this process? Yes. Every soul will eventually return to source, but some, like the archangels, follow a different path. Some choose to incarnate as humans, experiencing the game of forgetting their true nature to remember it once again. How does an archangel incarnate as a human? Due to the vastness of their energy field, an archangel may incarnate in multiple bodies at once. This is how higher consciousness manifests in human form. For example, the Christ consciousness has incarnated across many generations. The purpose of this was to trigger a collective shift in humanity's awareness. Is it working? It was always designed to work. The shift has already begun. I, too, am incarnated again, triggering another widespread shift in consciousness. The Earth's frequency, what you call the Schumann resonance, reflects these changes. Every being on Earth at this time has chosen to be here, consciously or unconsciously, to accelerate their remembering. Is it true that all one must do is to remember that it's a game? Yes. The game is designed to make you forget that you are God, so you can remember it again. Once you step into that consciousness, you transcend the game.
So, Thoth is here for anyone who calls upon him. So that is worth bearing in mind for your meditations, and I'm thinking that much like with the Christ energy that was tapped into during our Christmas show, Thoth can answer everything at once regardless of how many call upon him. And Thoth is the mastermind behind the ascension process we are currently experiencing, so what better consciousness to have addressing us? Earth is a passageway through which souls evolve, so it doesn't get more exciting than this. And I'm guessing a large proportion of those who see this show have remembered their divine connection, and we are all involved in this ascension process. And I totally get that the planet is protected against outside malevolent forces, so we can get on with the game. Yep, it's all a game. So, that being the case, we might as well have fun with it, particularly since fun is an elevating frequency and tends to ripple outwards. As the Buddha himself said, happiness never decreases by being shared. So here we are, returning to heart-based unity consciousness, realizing that everything is connected. Therefore, to harm another is to harm oneself. As for archangels, last week we learned that archangels are a composite being, an amalgamation of highly evolved souls brought together in the service of divine will. So when you think of the vastness of that energy field, it is easy to see how they can splinter into a large number of incarnations to assist with ascension. Except, of course, that they go through the same veil of forgetfulness that we all have to in this game/experiment here on Earth. And the same with the Christ consciousness too, except, of course, this time around we have all been imbued with Christ consciousness. And if we choose to activate it, and it is a choice, then we form part of what would be referred to as the second coming. So now we realize we are individuated aspects of God. We can help others who find themselves ready to transcend too. How amazing is that? Anyway, back to those pyramids.
Does the Great Pyramid help in this process? Absolutely. The pyramids are antennae, communication portals. They allow high-frequency energy to merge with the Earth plane. These vortex points were established to anchor divine energy, compressing it into this dimension. They are mathematical coordinates, designed to last. However, to utilize their frequencies, specific beings with the right knowledge and attunement are required. They are reincarnated high priests and priestesses, chosen for their ability to receive and translate these frequencies. They were stewards of this knowledge, passing it down through generations. Even now there are beings within the earth who anchor this energy. Where are the priests and priestesses now? They still exist, continuing their work in secret. Their identities remain hidden, but they are human. Some were even mentioned in biblical texts. Figures like Abraham were students of this wisdom. Who taught them in ancient times? I did, either directly or through teachers who were able to channel my consciousness. Yana, for example, is a part of the group consciousness that has incarnated across multiple bodies. Her role is to translate higher frequencies into this plane. How can Yana activate her DNA? Her DNA is already being activated because it is time. Every soul has a preordained moment for their own activation and consciousness to unfold. Can you tell me more about the 13 tribes of Israel? I've always wanted to know about them. These tribes are descendants of the original priestesses of Atlantis. Each tribe carries a piece of the wisdom necessary for ascension. Once all the pieces are remembered, collective ascension will be triggered. Do extraterrestrials play a role? Yes. Many extraterrestrial races have been called upon to assist in this process. They help humanity remember. Why did Hitler target the Jews? I've always wondered if there was anything else you could tell me about this. The Jewish people carry one of the original seeds of ascension, a blueprint from Atlantis. Hitler's actions were driven by unconscious forces that sought to suppress this wisdom. Are we heading toward extinction? No, quite the opposite. Humanity is moving toward enlightenment, a higher octave of consciousness. However, those who refuse this shift will remain on a lower timeline and eventually become extinct. So there really are two paths, one toward extinction and one toward ascension? Yes, that is correct. But for those who anchored in the higher timeline, like Yana, the focus is on ascension. Any final message? Trust the wisdom within. Focus on your own ascension. Release the programs of forgetting. It is time to wake up. Let go of fear. Trust the process and remember, you are being upgraded.
So, we are being upgraded, and there will be a deeper explanation of this very point coming up from our Galactic Federation chums, and they just represent a small part of the high-frequency beings who are here to assist humanity in awakening from the misaligned programming that we have unknowingly been indoctrinated into. As Thoth said, specific beings of the right knowledge and attunement are required, and there are beings within the earth that anchor this energy. So, we as surface dwellers often don't realize that the inner earth is a busy place, with both low and high frequency civilizations represented. There are humanity's puppet master reptilians in the tunnels and underground cities where much of the people trafficking has taken place, and thankfully that is a density that is about to be totally cleaned up. But also there are advanced civilizations, some who went subterranean at the time of the fall of Atlantis. They are very aware of the surface dwellers, and they will return at the time of the new Earth to help create our new high-frequency environment, but they won't get involved in the density ahead of that. As with the Galactics on this free will planet, it is up to us to choose our path first. It's interesting that Thoth was around in ancient times to teach his wisdom, all the way up to, in recent times, Drumvalo Melchizedek, who did a lot of work with many indigenous tribes around the world to repair the Earth's unity consciousness grid and to help clear the path for Earth's Kundalini energy to move from the Himalayas to its new home in the Andes, from where many of humanity's future spiritual teachers will hail. And every soul has a preordained date for their enhanced DNA activation, up from 2 strands back to 12. You may want to count how many you've got, just to see if you've reached the front of the line yet. Jolé, what would you care to add?
It's really, to me, a beautiful thing when energies say, remember who you are, let go of all of the forgetting of your greatness, and the fact that these composite energies and actually the divine energy dwells in you. I know sometimes it may be difficult because we live in such a dense environment to see ourselves as being creators and makers of our own material world, but we indeed are. And it's important, or we benefit by taking time out of our day, maybe 20 minutes, to connect with that, connect with the magic that we are. How do we do that? By starting to create from the present moment a sense of freedom, whatever that feels like. Get into the feelings of divinity, of freedom, and from there begin to create. And you'll notice in my meditations, I put together what's known as a soul architecture. It's yours. You are now the architect. So when you put yourself back together energetically, now you are in a building, so to speak, to begin to make that magic and remember. So what do, right? Put your feet flat on the ground, go in nature, receive those messages, listen to the wind, listen to your own instincts, allow for your heart to guide you in the sense of resonating. Does this resonate with me or not? Recognizing the difference between butterflies and calm and peace and bliss when you're working with relationships, really trying to get into a state of alignment, not only with the divine, but with your purpose, and being okay with that. But in all honesty, it takes really knowing that you are capable in the first place, and beginning to practice that, and then utilizing those tools, calling in that composite energy of the archangels to help you create.
Okay, thanks, Jolé. That was wonderful. Okay, so as promised, it is time to visit our galactic chums for an amazing message.
Beloved starseeds of Earth, we greet you with the deepest love. Eons ago, in the dawn of your history, dark forces from the stars interfered with your evolution. These negative factions, Anunnaki, Reptilians, and the Orion groups, came with the intent to dominate humanity. Using advanced genetic manipulation, they altered the human genome to suppress your power and make you compliant. In those ancient days, hundreds of thousands of years ago in your linear time, the Anunnaki even combined their own DNA with that of early humans, engineering a hybrid slave species. They deliberately reduced your original 12-strand DNA blueprint to a mere 2 strands, sealing off your higher spiritual centers and multidimensional perception. This intervention drastically limited your consciousness, lifespan, and abilities. Thus, they dimmed the sacred light within your cells and bred a docile human race to serve them. Ancient legends about gods who created humans to toil for them echo this truth. In your earliest civilizations, these imposter gods set themselves up as rulers and deities over humankind. The fallen Anunnaki and their reptilian and Orion allies demanded worship and labor, imposing tyrannical control and fear. They established hierarchical societies with themselves and their chosen hybrids at the top. By engineering your DNA and manipulating your minds with false doctrines, they sought to cut you off from your spiritual heritage and keep you ignorant of your own divine power. Throughout history, they worked from the shadows through select bloodlines and secret societies to maintain their grip. They fomented wars, spread division, and controlled the flow of information to ensure humanity remained in a state of fear and dependence. Your energy of fear was their sustenance, and your labor was their resource. However, in weaving this long, dark agenda, the Dark Ones underestimated a fundamental law of existence. Operating from a fourth density consciousness, devoid of true heart illumination, they could not fathom the higher plan of light. Blinded by arrogance, they thought love was weakness. They failed to see that the Creator's power, the power of unconditional love, is the only real power in the universe. They believed their technology and cunning could reign supreme, but they were blind to the indestructible divine spark within humanity. They could manipulate and oppress, yet they could never extinguish the God spark in your soul. That sacred spark is the essence of the Creator placed in each of you. It may be hidden or dormant, but it can never be destroyed. In cosmic terms, beings who reject love cannot ascend beyond a certain point. Eventually, they must either return to the light or collapse back into source. Thus, the negative agenda was fighting against the very current of cosmic evolution, a futile endeavor. With even a breath of love, the spark begins to glow. With sustained love, it ignites into an inextinguishable flame. No matter how long they tried to suppress it, the ascension of humanity was always inevitable. The spiritual evolution of Earth was decreed by Prime Source from the very beginning. The dark reign was always destined to be temporary, for in the grand cosmic design, the light ultimately triumphs over shadow. The divine plan will always find its fulfillment. The great awakening of humanity has been written in the stars and coded into your very DNA, and that promise cannot be broken. Consciousness is the inevitable force of creation. It is the essence of the Creator within all beings, forever expanding and seeking expression. The Dark Ones attempted to invert the organic template of life on Earth and halt this expansion. They twisted truth into lies, turned love into fear, and built an artificial matrix of limitation around you. They tried to enforce a timeline where humanity would remain spiritually asleep and under their control indefinitely. But no distortion can hold back the expansion of consciousness. What is of the source will always flow back to source. The universe inexorably moves toward balance and awakening. Even now, your planet's vibration is rising beyond anything the Dark Ones can tolerate. Mother Earth, Gaia, herself, a living conscious being, is ascending and shaking off the old negativity. High-frequency light from the galactic center and beyond is streaming into your world, reactivating dormant DNA codes and awakening souls by the millions. The dark can find no refuge from this intensifying light. Humanity's destined awakening could only be delayed, never prevented, and that delay has reached its end.
So, as previously discussed, that 12-strand DNA is coming back online. And as we covered in last week's show, amongst other shows, the Anunnaki, the Nephilim from the Orion constellation, and the Reptilians from the Draco constellation were the factions that enslaved humanity many thousands of years ago. We know that the Reptilians are still actively trying to mess with us, supported by some humans who have chosen the darker path. They're based within that secret government that has pulled the strings of humanity for so long that the density we endure on the planet has become our normal, leaving us, in large part, oblivious to the subterfuge. It's not difficult to see this playing out in government, corporations, religion, the military-industrial complex, the healthcare system, pharmaceutical companies. Anytime you witness an encouragement towards division energy, fear, and anger, use your discernment. Ask yourselves, why are they trying to encourage me down that low-frequency path of dependency on forces outside of myself? And that is not to encourage hatred towards the dark forces, because that too embeds us in duality, when in reality we are all one, both the light and the shadow. We are all here on the Earth Ascension game, playing our unique role, all deserving of love, though that does not mean that we condone the dark agenda. We don't fight it, because apart from anything else, in doing so it feeds the darkness. The secret of change is to focus your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Meanwhile, as the planetary vibrational frequency rises, the fourth-dimensional reptilian perpetrators have three choices. One is to remain in the darkness and die. The second choice is they can choose to leave the darkness behind, ascend to the fifth dimension, and be part of the new Earth. The third choice is to get on their ships and go back home to the Draco constellation. The Galactic Federation have our backs, as do the White Hat Alliance, but the choice to awaken to this incredible truth remains within each of us, and there is no right or wrong answer. No judgment is required, because we are all individuated expressions of the Divine Creator. We're all on our unique journeys, so our decision should be celebrated regardless of near-term direction. And we here at Elevated Planet and our community are here to provide a bridge to the light for those who find themselves ready to return to love, joy, laughter, kindness, and compassion. And who wouldn't want that? Anyway, on with the show.
Through the ages, the oppressors reinforced their domination, not only through genetic tampering, but through pervasive psychological conditioning. From the moment of your birth, society's institutions, education, religion, media, and government were subtly oriented to program your mind for compliance. You were taught that you are small, powerless, and unworthy, conditioned to obey authority without question, and to never truly know yourself. They cultivated fear at every turn: fear of scarcity, fear of the other, fear of punishment, fear of the unknown. They even bombarded you with images of violence and despair through your media to maintain a low vibration of anxiety and hopelessness. This insidious conditioning kept you enslaved even when physical chains were gone. It was an invisible prison for your mind. A critical part of this control was the propagation of savior programs, the false idea that your deliverance must come from an external savior or authority. They twisted spiritual truths into dogmas that told you to worship an outside deity or wait for a messiah, rather than seek the divine within. Likewise, they encouraged dependence on worldly leaders to solve problems that, in truth, only your collective awakening can truly resolve. By making you believe salvation comes from outside yourself, they kept you passive and disempowered, hoping for rescue instead of rising up in your own power. And indeed, a great remembering is underway. Since the Nexus year of 2020, the veil has been lifting at an unprecedented rate. Innan, as some call it, is fully underway. The tipping point of global awakening is very near, and once it is reached, the remaining illusions of the old paradigm will dissolve swiftly. The momentum of humanity's awakening is now unstoppable. Tense events and global challenges, such as a global pandemic and social upheavals, have served as catalysts, compelling humanity to question long-held assumptions and search for truth. A mass awakening has swept across the planet. We observe with certainty that over 1/3 of humanity has now broken free from the old illusions and begun reclaiming their sovereignty. This is a remarkable surge in awakened souls compared to just a few years ago. Each day, more individuals step out of the fog of fear and see the world with new eyes of awareness. They are questioning the narratives of division and reclaiming their inner discernment. This wave of illumination is growing exponentially and is fast approaching the critical mass needed to shift the entire collective consciousness. Every soul who awakens adds momentum, creating a chain reaction in the field of consciousness. The tipping point of global awakening is very near, and once it is reached, the remaining illusions of the old paradigm will dissolve swiftly. The momentum of humanity's awakening is now unstoppable.
And we're back. So, thank you, Galactic Federation of Light. And this message from them is not over yet, because we have a section that leads us into Jolé's guided meditation that comes from them. But we're also going to finish the show today slightly differently, because once we say farewell, we're going to play a last 5-minute section there, which is too important not to include, because typically I would have edited it. I can't. People have to have the opportunity to see this and listen to it, because this message is very profound. It's very uplifting, because it tells us that tipping point is very close. 1/3 of the planet is kind of like close to now starting to get the joke. And that then creates an avalanche, which kind of moves us where we need to go. So I think that it's really an important message. And, it was interesting, actually, the Nexus year of 2020, a pivotal point, right? Now, we all know what happened in 2020. And, the pandemic was a catalyst for so many people to start to realize that things were not as they seemed. There was a control agenda out there. And many people still believe that the pandemic was just something that came out of nowhere, or China created it in order to kind of get at the world kind of thing. It's so far away from that. And, you go back just about 3 weeks ago when we did the show, which went into the meeting that was held in London, where they were talking about, and this was going back to 2006, where they were talking about unrolling a global pandemic that would start in China. And it was intended to be way more devastating than COVID turned out to be. But it was kind of, you can go back and read the transcript from that. It's fascinating but it also makes you realize that the likes of the White Hat Alliance and the Galactic Federation, who are acting in the interests of humanity, are really doing a very successful job now, for the first time, of actually closing down the dark agendas. And actually, and this is the way it's going to continue to be. And you've got to say that the narrative of division energy that is out there in the world right now, you can't ignore it, right? I mean, it's amazing. It's a crazy time. But this is why, we get back to that eagle's perch, right? It's when you look at it and you don't get caught up in the drama, because that's what it's there for. It's there designed to distract you and take you away from the real force and the real power, which is all within. This is what we're learning, is that the real power sits within us. It's not outside of us. There are no external saviors. We are our own savior. And, once you get it, once you realize we're all aspects of the divine energy, and you realize that we can work miracles ourselves. Now, individually, we're powerful. Collectively, we're enormously powerful. And again, we come back to that thing, the WhatsApp group, pulling things together to overcome fragmentation and to bring us all together, have a common goal that we could meditate on, whatever it's going to be. Decisions are yet to be made, but it's exciting. It's exciting about where this can take us. So, and I know this all sounds so fantastical from a mainstream perspective, from an unawakened perspective, all this stuff about Galactic Federation, it just sounds like a fantasy, a made up story from people pretending to be Galactic Federation, right? And I could understand why people might think that, albeit you'd have to concede that it's a fantastic story, very well told. But what I would say is that, ridicule has been a massive thing for a long time. Anything that's to do with spirituality, anything that's to do with the galactics, the idea of things being ridiculed is just a mechanism to stop people from going there and discovering the truth. And yet it is becoming more and more obvious. So, use discretion, absolutely. Go within, because it's important at this time. There's a lot of misinformation and disinformation, and we'd never ask you to accept what we say at face value. We would always encourage you to do your own research. So if you see this as deluded nonsense, then that's fine. But if it does trigger enough curiosity, then dig deeper and find out what you feel. And don't be dominated by your ego self, because the ego self always tries to keep you in that box of what we know to be true. Whereas in reality, we're being conditioned and programmed into that box because it keeps us under control. So what you've got to do is you've got to go deeper. You've got to reach out to that higher self through meditation or whatever it takes, prayer. Just find a way, your own way of going within. And obviously, Jolé helps us a lot with this. It's important because, and that's another point as well, right? Our attention span is so much shorter than it used to be. And that's, again, a deliberate part of the programming, because, we want instant gratification. That's the world we live in now. That actually stops us from getting to the truth, because when we go within and we focus and we have discipline and we have that ongoing commitment that we make to ourselves, okay, 20 minutes every day, I'm going to do this. I'm going to just allow whatever happens, happens. I can spare 20 minutes. The TV can go off for 20 minutes, whatever. I'm going to sit in there and I'm just going to see what happens. One of the other things that worth mentioning, actually, because this came up just a couple of days ago from Erasmia, who's over in Greece at the moment, before she goes back to the United States. But she was talking about the soul architecture side of things. She gets confused because she doesn't understand what all the terms are necessarily. And I recalled that we did a series of 3 videos going back to like 2.5 years ago now, that actually where Jolé explained soul architecture. So I sent those off to Erasmia. What I'm going to do is to rework those videos to bring them up to date and then reissue them, because I think it's important. For people who've done this for a while, you don't need that. Okay, but to have that as a stepping stone for people who are new to this, to understand what Jolé talks about. And I remember the reason I asked her to do it in the first place, because I was getting a little bit confused about the soul architecture as well at the time. I now know, because I've had a few years of working with Jolé and really starting to get it. But I think it's important. So that's all I wanted to say pretty much on this. So, Jolé, can I bring you back in?
I'm having a little technical issues here on
Oh,
my
wow.
end, John. skipped a little bit, so I'm glad I heard bring you back. That's all I heard. So here I am. But
Welcome.
yes, we talk about unconditional love. And let's just break that down for a second, because when we're thinking about this energy of Thoth and all of these other masters, one of the things that we have to do is feel, right? And if we can begin to feel from a place of neutrality, it really helps us to move forward a lot faster. And so we talk about this, John and I, we talk about how the mind is dual. It's all confused. It's like the left brain controls the right side, the right brain controls the left side. We got masculine, we got feminine. Boom, forget about all that. Bring it into the heart, and allow for that to expand. And you may notice that I know we talk about focus and discipline oftentimes, but that can be the box. For those 20 minutes, allow for yours to expand and to be all over the place. We can focus in when we're in our meditations, but remember, the expansiveness cannot be contained. We're trying to do it, but to really sit, like Dr. Joe talks about, disappearing and be the space within the space, right?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
limitlessness of you having no boundaries in that moment and allowing for that energy to just exist. And then once you get up, stepping into that. I mean, it's truly amazing what is possible when we begin to support ourselves, bringing us back to unconditional love. Because we know love can be conditional, but in this process, hopefully, we'll get closer to understanding others and really having empathy and compassion for our fellow man, but in a way that opens us up instead of and allows us to receive like this infinity energy instead of us being depleted or attracting in vampires. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this is what can kind of move us closer to the unspeakable beauty. I realize that oftentimes I talk about abundance, but abundance, what is that? Unconditional love, really taking the blinders and the limitations off of how much you are willing to receive and how much you are willing to give, right?
Yes.
Allowing the spirit to work through us.
Yeah. No, I love all of that. I think that does make so much sense. So thank you. So do you think it's that time now? We're going to hit the button and we're going to do Galactic Federation, and once again going to lead us into the meditation, and Jolé will be working her magic. So here we go.
Beloved ones, the time for these illusions is over. Breaking free requires divine realization, not reliance on external saviors. The truth is, the key to your freedom has always been within you. The moment you awaken to your true nature as a divine being, the chains of control fall away instantly. When you recognize that you carry the essence of God within your very heart, you become sovereign and untouchable by fear. No outside authority can hold power over you when you know that you are an embodiment of the infinite creator. The divine spark within you is your direct connection to Source, your inner compass and source of true power. You are the saviors you have been waiting for. All the enlightened masters and prophets who have walked the earth came to remind you of this inner truth, not to be worshipped as idols. As one beloved teacher said, the kingdom of God is within you. Likewise, we of the Galactic Federation are here to support and guide you, but never to be worshipped or seen as your rescuers. We uphold the sacred law of free will, and thus cannot simply intervene and solve everything for you. You must choose liberation yourself. We are simply your family of light, helping you remember that you have the power to save yourself by rekindling the divine light within. As this awakening accelerates, you may wonder how best to speed your own liberation and assist in humanity's rise. Dear ones, the answer can be distilled into a single focus. Open your heart fully and embrace your identity as an embodiment of the divine. In other words, devote yourself to living from the heart and recognizing the God self within. The heart chakra is the gateway to your higher self and the higher dimensions. The most powerful spiritual practice is to center yourself daily in the energy of love and the knowing of your oneness with Source. Whether through meditation, prayer, or moments of stillness in nature, connect with the light within you consistently. As you do this, your vibrational frequency rises, and the illusions of fear and limitation begin to dissolve naturally. You start to perceive yourself and the world through the eyes of your higher self.
Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Put your feet flat on the floor. Your palms face up on your thighs. And bring your awareness to your chest. As you ground your energy by visualizing a beautiful, vibrant, grounding cord of a natural earth element. You're going to see this grounding cord. It's 6 inches in diameter, connected to your first chakra. Move through the chair, whatever you're sitting or laying on, through the floor, and begin to just move through the layers of Mother Earth, receiving all her vitamins and minerals and messages and all of the good things, the nurturing energy that is her, is being transmitted into your grounding cord as it moves through and into the core and roots itself into her unconditional love. Allow to gently relax in those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles, blanket the inside and the outside of your grounding cord. It's like a warm bath for your grounding cord. It feels so good. While these golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles are removing anything that no longer serves, you command your aura to be pulled in 1.5 feet around you. You call your higher self, you just say, it is commanded. My aura layer be 1.5 feet around me. You are the architect. My higher self, it is commanded. My higher self, stand at the power position at a comfortable distance above my crown. Why? So it's not crowding me, but yet and still it's there. A holographic projection of my future. Therefore, my thoughts and my energy supports me as I pull in that astral body that goes out while we're sleeping and remains connected to us by this limitless silver string connected at our belly button. And so now we snap it in and we absorb all of the information that it was out gathering. Talk about lighting up those 12-strand DNAs. Work with your soul architecture. Light it up. So now we're going to visualize and imagine the bottoms of our feet opening as we call in 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with us, mirroring the colors of the chakras. Red for safety, security. Orange can be pleasure and creativity. Yellow for that personal power, confidence. Green for that unconditional love and forgiveness. And today, we're really going to focus in our meditation on that beautiful indigo blue color of the throat, speaking our truth. Do we want that purple the center of our heads, where we call in the silver that Mother Earth has, moving through our bodies, giving us divine wisdom, earth flow, whatever it may be, a quartz crystal, energy of the amethyst. Bring it in as you open your crown like the lens of a camera and call in that 85% cosmic gold and allow it to just rain down and cascade and ooze through your brain, getting into every crevice, that golden water of life, moving out the negativity and having those neurotransmitters connect that program you for greatness, for excellence, for divinity as it moves down, lighting up each vertebra. But this time, as it lights up each vertebra on its way down, see that vertebra turn heart-shaped and meet the next one, and meet the next one, and meet the next one. As it's just pouring love throughout your nervous system, that divine unconditional love that is shaping your spine with that beauty of unconditional love, that feeling, that vibration, that high vibing as it meets that earth energy and begins to fill you up like water fills up a cup. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, and you allow for this beautiful energy, this nurturing energy and unconditional love from Mother Earth, meeting the unconditional love of the divine and filling you up. As you put a golden sun, beautiful, vibrant golden sun above your head, and you're going to call all of your energy back into waves above your head. And just allow for that to take place. And specifically, we're going to open up our throat chakra as we put those roses outside our aura, 5 feet away from us. We're going to open our throat chakra, and we are going to put all of the blockages, dogmas, the traditions, the customs that are blocking our truth. And in this golden sun, as we call our energy back, we're going to bring in divine directness. And that's what? It's filled with unconditional love. So pull out and move out any of the exaggeration, the lack of integrity, the ancestral deceptions, the traditions and the customs, whatever they may be, that have kept you in a state of being afraid to speak your truth, suppressing your divine voice. I want you to move that energy out. As this earth energy and this cosmic divine life force energy moves throughout your body and allows you to move out any falsehoods, any judgments, even any ability to be disloyal, labeling, judging of any kind, move it out. And what this divine directness is bringing in is loyalty. It's bringing in focus. It's allowing for you to speak life not only into yourself, but into those that you love. It's moving out the gossip. It's moving out the passive aggressive energy. The need for that, move it out. And move in from the divine, that divine directness, speaking life into those around you, being honest, forthright, and true. And most of all, having the courage to be loyal to those around you. So let's move out, because anytime we are failing to speak our truth, it didn't come from us. It's what we've been taught. So bring in a big old dose of forgiveness into that golden sun. And forgive yourself and others for being afraid to speak their truth, as this earth energy and this cosmic divine life force energy replaces any of that lack of integrity, any of the blocks that we are moving out of the throat. And when you're ready, allow for that golden sun to be a part of that beautiful reigning 85% cosmic gold. Put it there and allow it to just melt down and ooze down into your energy as it just mixes in with that earth energy and that cosmic gold life force, filling up that throat chakra. And you just see the beautiful light pouring out of your throat, lighting people up, giving them permission to speak their truth, making them feel safe, creating safe environments where it is okay for you to speak your truth, and speaking life into those around you as you're paving the way, allowing for the universe to work for you, because you are speaking your divinity into existence, your excellence, your greatness into existence, and you're speaking it into existence for others. All of that jealousy, all of that fear is gone. And all of this energy is now mixed in, filling you up, pushing out into your aura layer, lighting up that nervous system and restoring you back to that neutrality of unconditional love. No judgment, no fear. I should say unconditional love, forgiveness, excellence, greatness, success is all around you as your cells pulsate with that loving energy of creation, empowering your voice, knowing that you can handle that divine instrument. So as you breathe with the rhythm of your body, knowing that you have been rebooted in that throat chakra, clean and clear, filled with gold light, we're going to put another golden sun above our head. And as we give those roses outside our aura layer a little push and blow them up, turning them into beautiful, positive, creative life force energy for anyone to use, we're going to put a golden sun above our head, and we're going to fill it with divine focus. No limits on that. Whatever is going to bring us that greatness, that excellence, and that divinity, you need that focus. So as you watch the divine fill up that beautiful golden sun above your head with divine focus, and when you're ready, you're going to see it a part of that beautiful 85% cosmic life force energy as it becomes one with, moving down into your crown, superpowering that love that's in that spine and that nervous system, opening up that heart and just pouring out that love as that divine focus moves down those lower three chakras, giving it its marching orders, all of that, moving down that grounding cord as that divine focus moves out those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles, moving out any residual procrastination, lack of self-love, lack of focus, anybody else's energies or beliefs in you, moving them down and out into the core of Mother Earth, turning them into positive, creative life force energy for anyone to use as your grounding cord. Your body, your aura layer, your divine spirit is filled with focus, positive focus, rooted into Mother Earth. As this divine energy runs through your body, I want you to see and feel yourself divinely focusing with unconditional love. And in a state of creation, see all of those you love being safe and divinely protected, and you speaking life into them. Speak life into you. See yourself at your zenith, a divine being, light and blessings, with permission to set the world on fire in a good way. Illuminating and lighting up mankind to the loving truth of who they truly are. So sit in who you truly are, divine being, as you breathe with the rhythm of your body. And this beautiful earth energy of a color that resonates 15%, and then 85% cosmic gold, filled with divine focus. All of you, your body, mind, and spirit, filling up with unconditional love and the magic of creation. And bring that loving energy, that visual of you at your zenith, into your heart. As you then close your heart chakra, close those double doors. As you then take a deep breath in and exhale, closing your feet chakras and watching that earth energy recede back into Mother Earth. You're going to take a deep breath in. And before you do that, you're going to see your heart moving energy into your arms, that creativity flowing through your body. And then we take a deep breath in and we close our hand chakras like the lens of a camera. Knowing that we have access to open them up anytime and heal and create. We take another deep breath in and we close our crown and we watch that golden light ascend back into the heavens. Knowing that as we did this, our nervous system pushed out, our toroidal field lit up, that pyramid spun above our head is spinning above our toroidal field, and we are always encompassed in that white light of limitless divine energy. When you are ready, you can open your eyes.
Beautiful, Jolé. Thank you so much. That really was. Yeah. And I think it's so important as well because, you know, like what we were talking about earlier with the fact that the use of ridicule over the years to stop people from talking about this stuff, right?
Yes.
The time is now right for us to just talk with truth and integrity about, you know, how we see things. You know, we're not getting burned to the stake anymore.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes. It's real. Yeah, absolutely. And so by cleaning out the throat. The reason why it came to me was because I did a class on the chakras, each one a different weekend. And people would show up, but the throat chakra, no one showed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's very difficult for us to speak our truths, and that is really a part of what can take us to unspeakable beauty, because you think about when you get out of denial about certain things and you accept it, it's like, wow, what a relief. Now I can deal with that and move forward.
Yeah.
That's really what helps us to get rid of this mind control and to step into our power. Because when you meditate, you really got to get truthful about where it is that you are wanting to improve. Let's put it that way, right? Where
Yeah.
it is you're wanting to grow, because meditation is really about growth and expansion, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
certain behaviors and ideologies, they've got to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And I totally get it why people struggle with this. I mean, I certainly, like 7 years ago, I would have not been able to get this at all. So I've total understanding of people who really don't get this yet, because we've had a lifetime of conditioning and programming to believe this is woo-woo nonsense, and not to go with spirituality, to look outside of ourselves for our external saviors who are going to help us. But we don't need it. And this is the joy. We go within. I mean, you mentioned earlier, about the feelings, the importance of emotions and feelings. I mean, it is. I mean, I've just got this affirmation I've had there since 2018 when I first started to get the joke, which is spirit is always communicating with me through feelings. If it feels right, just do it, going with the flow, guided
Yeah.
by the divine paddling downstream. That is one of my affirmations. And it takes a while for that to become who you are, but it's a beautiful thing.
Right. It's definitely a practice, right? And so but part of it is slowing down, because if you allow for your brain to, like your heart, the heart, to just think for a second, it won't lie. Like they always say, the heart doesn't lie. The brain, but the heart, get into that feeling of, also when you let the boundaries down of knowing that you are a part of that other person, and you're only lying to yourself, because we've got all these sensors and layers and auras and higher selves, and we can snuff it out most of the time. you
Yes.
know
Yes. Yeah, no, and I think again, like go back to what RJ Spinner said about 97.5% of our energy and wisdom resides in our higher self. 2.5% is can be incarnated into the physical body. So therefore,
Yes.
if you never connect, if you don't, but because you've never been told this, or we've been told it's conditioned and programmed to not to believe it's not there, you never make that connection. You are missing out on a vast majority of yourself, and this is why this is this was put as like it's a game, right? This is
Mm.
a game. This is a game being played by your higher self. The higher self is most of you, right? Here we are in the physical incarnation, having to understand that this is a game, but the answer to everything is love, right? It comes back to that. And
Absolutely.
okay, I'm going to switch screens in a few moments because I have to call up that last little section, that last little 5 minute section. But what we're going to do first is to go through all the usual, just to say tomorrow the newsletter goes out, and anybody who wishes to join our community can do so through our distribution list, which you can be added to. Just email me at johndrew@elevatedplanet.life or go onto our website, elevatedplanet.life/contact page, gets you to the contact page where you can send us a message. And even if whether you have questions or anything, but also I am going to be including it on the video that goes out, the edited video, which will be on the newsletter, will also include a link to the WhatsApp group. And anybody that sees this email, this video at any time on YouTube, you'll be very welcome to come and join us. This is all overcoming fragmentation. This is us coming together to create this world of unspeakable beauty, or Avalon, as it's the return of Avalon. I kind of look at it that way as well. This is somewhere that you know, is the world of unspeakable beauty, and I think that is in our future. So I'm very excited about that. And Jolé, what else do I need to remember?
Remember to like, share, and subscribe because, this information, we're trying to light up mankind. And so get this out there so that we can get there faster.
Yes, absolutely. Just be fearless in your ability to just send this out to whatever groups that you have within. And again, come and join us on the WhatsApp group because we're going to be able to share a lot of content, but you in turn can share content on it as well. It's a community. This is not just a one-way diatribe,
Yes, exactly. We're wanting to share and discover, and share information. That's really what it's all about. Oh, and to hold space for each other as well.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
So let us know when you need us to hold space for you, send you positive energy, love, healing, light. That's what we're here for.
It's a very good point. It's a very good point. Anybody who needs help, anybody that needs support, assistance, or people that that need that, reach out, send us the message. Because again, now that we got the WhatsApp group as well, everything can become a lot more interactive. We're not just reliant on a one show per week kind of thing. So yeah, well said. Okay. Thank you, Jolé, and thank you to everybody who's here, and thank you for your comments. Thank you, Joy. Joy's also going to be a big part of the WhatsApp group as well. She's going to help us on the admin side. But what we're going to switch to now is going to be that final 5 minutes at the end of it. We're just bailing out. You won't see us again. When the video ends, so do we. So till next week, thank you again for being here. Thank you, Jolé.
Thank you.
And we will see you all again sometime very soon.
You remember that you are infinitely more than a physical body. You are a radiant soul connected to all that is. With your heart open and filled with the Creator's love, you become immune to the old control patterns. Your intuition strengthens. Compassion, joy, and inner peace become your natural state. As you continue to raise your frequency, your dormant spiritual gifts, telepathy, intuitive knowing, healing abilities, and more will naturally begin to activate. This will further affirm that you are becoming the unlimited being you were meant to be. In practical terms, practice self-love and forgiveness, for these actions unlock your heart's true power. For example, forgiving yourself and others for past hurts releases the heavy burdens that kept your heart closed. As your heart chakra blooms, your entire being is flooded with light. In this state of conscious love, you stand in your true power as a co-creator with the divine. You become a living beacon of light, and by your mere presence, you help to awaken and uplift others who are still in darkness. Feel the urgency of this moment, for the time is now to step fully into your divine power. The energies flooding your world are intensifying by the day, pushing everything toward transformation. Do not cling to the collapsing structures of the old world or wait on the sidelines. The window of ascension is open wide before you. Such a powerful cosmic opportunity for rapid evolution is rare and precious, so seize it with all your heart. Now is the hour to awaken completely and claim your birthright of freedom and mastery. Know that as you do this, you are not alone. You have immense support from the higher realms at every moment. We, your galactic family of light, along with the angels and ascended masters, surround you with love and guidance. We have been quietly assisting by mitigating the worst of the Dark's plans and ensuring that this opportunity for liberation would arrive. Yet it is you, the courageous souls on the ground, whose choices make all the difference. Celebrate, dear ones, for the dawn of a new era has arrived. The long night of control and suffering is giving way to the golden morning of freedom. The prophesied age of Aquarius, a new golden age of Gaia, is beginning to bloom. By the decree of the Almighty Creator, the negative forces that oppressed you are being removed and rendered powerless. Their time is truly over, and they know it. The light has already won on the higher planes, and that victory is now manifesting in your physical world. You stand on the threshold of reclaiming your planet as a world of love, peace, and unity. Soon, humanity will take its rightful place in the galactic community as a free and enlightened civilization. The hardships and pain you have endured will be transformed into wisdom and strength. All the lessons learned through this grand journey will illuminate your new society with compassion and insight. Hold steadfast to your highest vision of Earth's future. Envision a world where all beings live in harmony, where abundance and joy are the birthright of everyone. Remember that the key to creating this heaven on earth lies within you. It has always been inside you. Unlock your heart, stand in your sovereign truth, and watch as the last vestiges of the old paradigm crumble to dust. This is the victory of the light, the moment when humanity rises as the true divine power it has always been. Stand tall in your light and love, for all the cosmos honors and celebrates you in this victorious hour. Never forget that we are only a heartbeat away. Whenever you feel uncertain or alone, simply quiet your mind and call upon us. We will be there to comfort and guide you in accordance with divine will. Remember, you are never alone. We love you dearly. We stand ready to welcome you into the greater family of the cosmos. We hold you in that heart space, always. With profound love, hope, and joy, we are your galactic allies. With the deepest love, we are the Galactic Federation.